For 20 years, Israel lived under oppression. Jabin, king of Canaan, ruled with an iron fist. His commander Sisera marched with 900 iron chariots. Fear silenced the warriors. The villages emptied. Hope seemed lost. But in the middle of that darkness, God raised a judge. Not a king, not a warrior, a woman. Her name was Deborah. Under the wide branches of a palm tree, she sat, not hidden behind walls, not guarded by soldiers, not elevated by force, but established by calling. Deborah, prophetess of the Lord, judge of Israel. The people came to her. Farmers came first, dust still clinging to their garments. Disputes over land, over harvest, over boundaries worn thin by drought and pressure. They spoke carefully. She listened fully. No haste, no irritation, only discernment. Justice was not rushed beneath that tree. Then came the mothers, carrying burdens heavier than clay jars, concerns about provision, concerns about safety, concerns about sons growing up in a season of fear. They did not find indifference. They found compassion anchored in authority. Deborah did not lead with emotion alone. She led with clarity. Then the elders approached, men whose beards had turned gray with years of leadership, men who had seen victories and defeats. Even they sought counsel, because wisdom recognizes wisdom. Before every judgment, there was stillness. Before every decision, there was alignment. At dawn, she would sit with the scroll open before her, seeking the voice of God above every competing voice. Leadership is not volume. It is accuracy. And under that palm tree, Israel experienced something rare in a season of oppression: order, clarity, peace. While iron chariots ruled the highways, righteousness ruled beneath the palm, and the nation began to remember what it felt like to be led. Before Israel saw her as judge, she was known by another name, Deborah, wife of Lapidoth. The flame was never alone. In the quiet of morning, before the people gathered, sparks rose from stone in steady hands. Torches lit the day. Strength without noise. Presence without announcement. Lapidoth, not threatened by her voice, not diminished by her authority, not competing with her calling, aligned with it. While she opened the scroll, he prepared the ground. While she listened for heaven, he guarded the perimeter of home. Different roles, one direction. Great destiny thrives where covenant is strong. When your house is settled, your voice carries weight. When your marriage is aligned, your leadership moves without friction. And on that day, something shifted in the air. Deborah felt it before she spoke it. A stirring, a divine interruption. Send for Barak. The message traveled on the strength of fire. When the commander arrived, he came carrying battle scars and hesitation in equal measure. Iron chariots ruled the highways. Fear ruled the people. But beneath the palm tree, another authority stood.
Deborah,
the
what
Lord
is the command?
Commands you.
The Lord
she
commands you
declared.
to go and lead the
No
army.
tremble in her voice, no uncertainty in her posture. Lapidoth stood behind her, steady as flame and wind. Not silent because he was weak, silent because he understood. Barak listened. Courage wrestled with caution. If you go with me, I will
but
go.
only if you go
A
with me.
pause,
Very well.
not of doubt,
Then it is
but of
decided.
revelation. She answered with clarity.
I will go, but the honor will
I
not
will
be
go.
yours.
But the honor will not be
The
yours.
Lord will deliver
The Lord
Sisera
will
into the
deliver
hand of a
Sisera
woman.
into the hand of a woman. The wind intensified. The torch flared brighter. Prophecy does not consult in security. Destiny does not negotiate with ego. And behind her stood a husband who understood that her elevation was not his diminishment. The flame does not compete with the torch. It fulfills its purpose through it. At sunrise they walked forward, Deborah beside the commander, Lapidoth carrying the fire, an army rising behind them, covenant at home, authority in public, alignment in motion. And when alignment meets obedience, history shifts. She rises. The wind catches her garments as her hand stretches toward Mount Tabor in the distance. Has not the Lord God of Israel commanded? There is no hesitation in her voice, no uncertainty. She does not speak opinion. She releases instruction. The strategy is not political. It is prophetic. The battle plan is not human. It is divine. 10,000 men stand ready. Barak stands beside her. The decision has been made. Movement has begun. They ascend the mountain. Step after step, dust rising beneath their feet, hearts pounding with the weight of what lies ahead. Below them stretches the valley, where iron chariots will soon gather. 900 instruments of intimidation, the symbol of Canaanite dominance, the machinery of fear. But Deborah does not speak of chariots. She speaks of timing. Up, for this is the day in which the
Has
Lord
not
has
the Lord
delivered
gone out
Sisera
before
into
you?
your hand.
He has. We
Has
will
not
not
the Lord
fail.
gone out before you? This is not motivation. This is revelation. She sees the battle before it unfolds. She understands something Barak must learn in motion. That victory is decided in heaven before it is displayed on earth. Barak moves. The army surges down from Mount Tabor with force and urgency. What looked like disadvantage now becomes momentum. What seemed like vulnerability now becomes strategy. Then Sisera responds. The valley trembles under the weight of iron wheels. Horses strain. Metal glints under the sky. Power advances with noise and confidence. It looks overwhelming. It looks unstoppable. But heaven intervenes. The Lord throws the enemy into confusion. Strength collapses. Formation breaks. The very terrain shifts against the chariots. What was built for dominance becomes trapped in disruption. Because when God goes before you, the advantage changes. Steel cannot withstand sovereignty. And suddenly, the commander of 20 years of oppression is no longer commanding. Sisera abandons his chariot. The general who inspired fear now runs on foot. The mighty reduced to flight. The oppressor scrambling for survival. The tide has turned. Not because Israel was stronger, not because the army was larger, but because prophetic clarity met courageous obedience. And when that happens, the Lord himself fights. The Lord has gone before you, and when he goes before you, victory follows behind. The storm had done its work. The chariots were broken. The army scattered. The mighty reduced to fugitives in the mud. And now, the general who once commanded iron and fire stood at the entrance of a quiet tent. Inside there was no thunder, only waiting. She had heard the battle from afar. She had felt the tremor of the storm. She knew the sound of destiny approaching long before his shadow crossed her threshold. He entered soaked, breathless, stripped of glory. Mud clung to him where pride once lived. His voice, once sharp with command, trembled with need. "Water," he asked. "Mercy,"
Water, I
he
beg you.
assumed.
Here is milk.
Safety,
Drink.
he believed. She gave him milk. She covered him. She spoke gently. Outside, thunder rolled like distant drums of judgment. Inside, the conqueror surrendered to sleep. But heaven had not forgotten the cries of the oppressed, and the hand that would end the war did not hold a sword. It held a tent peg. History would not remember the weight of his armor. It would remember the courage of a woman who did not tremble. The storm raged on, but inside the tent, justice drew near, and when the deed was finished, she rose in silence. The mallet lay still. The peg stood firm. Outside, the storm began to fade. Inside, her task was complete. History had turned.
Awaken, Deborah, awaken!
Awaken, Barak, and lead them.
The earth trembled, the heavens poured down. Before the might of our God they were thrown.
The stars in their courses fought from on high.
Sing praise for the victory given this day. Sing praise for the victory